It doesn't look like a rapid fire rifle when you literally, the way you fire this is, you know, have to do this, pull the old shell out, put another shell in, and fire it. But in 1861, that was amazing. If they're originals, they're worth a lot of money.
Yes.
And do you want to sell them?
I want to sell them.
And how much do you want for them?
75,000.
The episode kicks off with a promise of cool guns, immediately teasing a Civil War Sharps carbine and the legendary Gatling gun. Rick's classic intro sets the stage, reminding us you never know what comes through the door. Then, a customer rolls up in a 1915 Model T taxi, instantly creating a visual spectacle right outside the pawn shop. The blend of firearms and classic cars promises a uniquely American episode.
We heard you might have some cool guns here for sale.
Absolutely. That Civil War Sharp carbine.
We heard that there might be a Gatling gun available.
We do have.
This is it. This is my 1915 Model T taxi.
It's really neat.
Could you start it up for me?
Rick gets a rare call about an 1800s Gatling gun hitting the market in Utah. He admits he hates leaving the shop, trusting the old man to hold down the fort. This is huge. Gatling guns are the holy grail for collectors. The urgency is palpable. They have to get there before it goes to auction. It's a road trip for what could be the ultimate pawn shop score.
The only problem is, it's in Utah. I usually don't like leaving the shop for so long, but I'm sure the old man can hold down the fort.
Hello? Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. You okay?
Grandpa, wake up.
What?
How can I help you?
I have a Model T out in front, and I'm looking to sell it. I was wondering if you guys are interested.
Model T, huh?
Yeah.
The Model T owner explains his body-off restoration, keeping the original frame but making it street legal. The old man notes it's the first mass-produced car. Rick admits he's never seen anything like it, calling it a 2010 Model T. They start it up, and it sounds good. The owner's passion is clear, but so is Rick's uncertainty, leading to the classic move, calling an expert.
And it was the first car ever mass-produced on the assembly line.
Yeah, people bought them and drove the hell out of them. Henry Ford figured out if you make cars faster, you can make them cheaper. That's why the Model T was the first affordable car.
In Utah, Rick and Sean meet the gun dealer. They see the 1863 Sharps carbine, a gun that changed Civil War battles. The dealer asks $2,500. Rick explains its revolutionary falling block action, calling it the assault rifle of its day. The historical context is rich, showing how this weapon's rapid fire created tactical illusions on battlefields like Gettysburg, making it a must-have for serious collectors.
You got a lot of cool guns here.
Rick, check it out. Can we have a look at the Sharps?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's the 1863 Sharps carbine. The Union Army wanted to equip all of their troops with them that they could.
Once they were proficient at using this weapon, they were unstoppable.
The moment of truth. Rick asks about the rumored Gatling gun. The dealer smiles. We do have one. The reveal is pure drama. As he leads them to it, Rick's "Whoa! Oh man, that's amazing!" says it all. The build-up pays off, confirming the trip was worth it. The sheer rarity of even seeing one, let alone buying it, hangs in the air.
All right, so the real reason why we came up here is we heard that there might be a Gatling gun available.
Where did you hear that?
A little birdie told me.
Well, we do have one. Would you like to see it? It's kind of over here in the other end of the store.
Absolutely.
Whoa.
The Gatling gun is an 1883 Colt model in almost perfect condition. Rick is nearly speechless. They discuss its history, invented to end wars, used sparingly in the Civil War, and famously left behind by Custer. Rick jokes that Custer was last in his class. The precision machining of this era meant it could fire endlessly without jamming, a terrifying marvel of Industrial Revolution technology.
Yeah, I'm almost speechless here.
It does kind of tend to leave a guy speechless.
Tell me what you know about this.
Well, Dr. Gatling invented these guns right at the beginning of the Civil War, and his vision was that this was going to be the gun that would end all wars.
The dealer confirms it's all original, with the patent markings and even the original carriage mount. Rick calls it a national treasure. Getting up close, he notes it's at the pinnacle of perfection. The awe is genuine. This isn't just a gun, it's a museum piece in private hands. The respect everyone has for this artifact elevates the entire negotiation before it even starts.
This is the magazine, holds 105 rounds. Cartridges go down into here. This fires as fast as you turn the crank, up to 750 rounds per minute.
Unreal.
Oh my God.
We have it mounted in the store on the tripod because the carriage mount won't fit through the doors.
The dealer drops the price, $335,000, based on a recent auction sale. Rick acknowledges this isn't for the regular person. Then, the incredible offer. If they're serious buyers, they can take it out and shoot it. Rick's stunned excitement is perfect. How many people alive get to fire a Gatling gun? This isn't just business. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience used as a sales tactic.
This Gatling gun is probably more valuable than most. A lot of people would say, well, the price of guns has gone down. The economy's not doing very well. Well, this isn't a gun for the regular person in the economy. If you're serious buyers, if you guys are interested in buying this, we can take it out and shoot it.
Back at the shop, car expert Danny Coker gives his verdict on the Model T. He loves the Resto mod, praising the craftsmanship. The owner wants $29,900. Corey, citing a bad market, lowballs at $20,000. The owner counters at $25,000 minimum, stressing the effort and craftsmanship. Corey refuses, highlighting the pawnbroker's dilemma. They must buy low to resell, even when facing legitimate artistic and financial investment.
Well, I put a lot more than what I'm asking into it.
What are you asking for?
I'm asking $29,900.
You know, $29,900, I don't think you're far off. The car stands out and says, I've got a lot more in it than that. The market, of course, is just so bad these days right now that, you know, everybody's going to take a loss.
They settle at $21,000. The owner has mixed feelings. Relief at completing the sale, but a sinking feeling he'll never see his baby again. This emotional conflict is the human core of pawn. People part with treasures out of necessity. The car is a super luxury item for Corey. A tough sell, but the deal is done. A bittersweet moment for the seller.
I gotta be able to
sell this piece.
Yeah, I'll go 21.
You got a deal.
All right, let's go write it up.
You got it. It was tough. I was hoping to get more, but it was kind of a relief knowing that I did what I needed to do. But there was also a sinking feeling that I'm done with this. I'm never going to see it again.
At the Utah range, they fire the Sharps carbine at an explosive target. The safety briefing is intense. It could kill you. The shot is a success with a huge boom. Rick appreciates the gun's design. Straight shooter, easy reload. He understands why it was so effective. The fun, dangerous test proves the firearm's functionality and historical impact in a very visceral, satisfying way.
3, 2, 1, fire in a hole. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I can understand why they used this gun in the Civil War. Straight shooter, not a big kick, easy to reload, great gun.
The main event, firing the Gatling gun. Rick and Sean playfully argue over who gets to crank it. Sean wins, calling it a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. They obliterate water jugs at 100 yards. Rick fires 50 rounds in 3 seconds, left shaking. The raw mechanical power is astounding. It's not just a test, it's a thrilling, immersive history lesson that clearly gets Rick's adrenaline pumping.
There are so few of them that exist, and more so of a rarity, one that is actually in fireable condition. I am way beyond excited.
Well, we got some water jugs. We got them set out there at 100 yards, and I think it's going to work really good.
All right, try and aim it.
The negotiation crashes back to earth. The dealer won't budge from $335,000. Rick offers $200,000, then $220,000, arguing about auction fees. The dealer passes. Rick pivots to the Sharps, offering $1,500. After haggling, they land at $1,900. The Gatling gun dream dies, but Rick drives 300 miles home with a consolation prize. He's still happy. The experience of shooting those guns made the whole epic day worth it.
It's a piece of history, and I got to hold tight on that. It's got to be $335,000. I have the Gatling gun on a very high pedestal. It may be the ultimate gun.
I mean, I don't mean to insult you, but I'll give you 200 grand.
Well, that's too low of an offer.
A seller brings in fancy old woolly chaps from the 1920s or 30s, given by two-time world champ bronc rider Jim Houston. He wants $1,000, citing their history and warmth, but he's moving to Hawaii. Corey teases Chum, who inspects them, noting they're soft, luxurious, and assless, just like every pair of chaps.
A fancy old pair of woolly chaps, Angora.
All right. Yeah, Big Hoss knows all about chaps. He wears them riding his motorcycle all the time.
You've never seen me wear a pair of chaps riding my motorcycle.
Don't get bashful in front of the customers.
The haggling begins. Rick offers $200, saying Jim Houston isn't a big-ticket item. The seller counters with $900. Rick holds at $300, even stretching to include the mannequin. The seller finally accepts $300, wanting to share him with somebody else. Deal done. Chum is told to write up his new friend. The playful negotiation shows how perceived fame, even in niche circles, drastically impacts an item's pawn value.
Well, we do sell stuff like this when the rodeo comes to town. How much were you looking to get out of him?
I'd like to get $1,000.
I'd offer you like $200 for him. Jim Houston might be a famous rodeo rider, but he's not a big ticket item. If there were Sam Houston's chaps, I'd love to have him.
Chum tries to sell a base by falsely claiming Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers played it live. Rick immediately shuts him down, embarrassing the customer. Rick apologizes, calling Chum a salesperson he's sort of like stuck with. Later, Rick scolds Chum for lying, saying it's bad for business. The only way to sell the dusty base, Rick jokes, is if Jimi Hendrix himself signs it, which gives him an idea.
Actually, if you ever heard of the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
I have.
You know Flea, one of the greatest bass players ever?
Definitely, man.
He actually played that guitar live in concert.
Oh, wow.
It's a really good deal.
Chum, I can't believe what I just heard coming out of Chum's damn mouth. I need to step in now.
Rick hatches a scheme. Def Leppard is playing at the Hard Rock. He tells Chum to use his ninja-like skills to get the bass signed backstage. Chum confidently accepts the mission. Rick admits to the others he just doesn't want to see Chum's face for a day, suspecting he'll just go to the pool. This sets up a classic Chum subplot, born from Rick's desire for both a signature and some peace.
But that gives me an idea. Def Leppard's playing over the Hard Rock. Why don't you grab that bass, go over there and have him sign it?
Really?
Use your ninja-like skills, go backstage somewhere and get him to sign it. Think you can get it done?
Of course I can get it done.
I got faith in you.
You guys know he's just gonna spend the day at the pool, right?
You know what? I just don't want to see his face for a day.
A new customer brings a rare poem handwritten and signed by Nikola Tesla, written after his first big argument with Thomas Edison. Rick is fascinated, calling Tesla one of the smartest guys ever. He explains the AC/DC current war, noting Edison electrocuted elephants to discredit AC. The seller says Tesla put 5.5 million volts through his own body. The feud story is crazy, and if the poem is real, Rick desperately wants it.
Nikola Tesla, a very rare poem written by Tesla.
I did not know he was a poet. He was like one of the greatest engineers ever.
This is a poem that Tesla wrote right after he had his first big argument with Thomas Edison.
That's really, really cool.
The plaque says the verse shows Tesla's humorous side. The poem reads, "Poetry does not pay better. Try to make Hey Mine the sophomore and bother me no more." Rick interprets it as Tesla saying, "You have to work for your money and get amateurs out of the way." It's believed written after Edison cheated him out of $50,000. The historical feud embodied in a sassy poem makes this item uniquely cool.
Now this is believed to have been written because when he first came to this country, he went to work for Thomas Edison. And Thomas Edison said, if you can fix my generators, I'll pay you $50,000. Tesla fixed Edison's generators, and when he went to get the money, Edison said, no, I'm just joking.
Rick calls in expert Steve to authenticate the Tesla poem. Steve is in awe, calling Tesla a genius off the charts. He examines the ink, confirming it's a live signature, not a print. The first hurdle is cleared. It's genuinely old handwriting. The tension is about provenance, not just age. Even 100 years ago, people faked Tesla, so a signature comparison is next to prove it's truly from the inventor.
A guy brought in a poem written and signed by one of my heroes, Nikola Tesla. Tesla was an amazing inventor, but a poet? So I called in my friend Steve to check this thing out. This guy has a poem written by Tesla, supposedly.
Wow, okay.
Steve compares the signature to known examples, noting its distinct right-leaning angle. He declares it legitimate. The seller is thrilled, but the valuation is a shock. Steve says retail is about $2,500, not the seller's $5,000 appraisal. Steve admits it's a hard sell because many people don't know Tesla. The expert's pronouncement cuts the dream value in half, setting up a tough negotiation for Rick.
So when I start to look at this signature and I come in here, it's very basic, it's very simple. He has a distinct angle to the right, and it's not really too complicated. And when I start to see the two together, I'm starting to look at what appears to me are very similar signatures.
So do you think it's all legit?
The seller asks for $2,000. Rick, playing the businessman who can't fall in love with things, offers $1,500. The seller holds at $1,600. Rick agrees, saying, "Good deal." He's excited to own a poem by his hero, even joking that maybe it'll get lost somehow so he can't sell it. This reveals Rick's personal collector side, often hidden beneath his pawnbroker pragmatism, especially for a genius like Tesla.
Well, you know, how about 2? And I know you want it. I can tell you do.
But I'm a business owner I can't fall in love with. Take $1,500 for it?
16's the lowest I can go.
Got a deal.
Got a deal.
Okay. I'll meet you right over there. Let's write this thing up.
Chum's mission fails spectacularly. He wanders the Hard Rock Casino asking employees where to meet Def Leppard, even confusing a martini. He gets kicked out of a restricted area. His game plan collapses. He decides to grab some lunch and head back to the shop, call it a day. True to Rick's prediction, Chum's ninja skills amount to a half-hearted stroll and an early surrender, a classic Chumley antic.
Try to get a Def Leppard signature for this bass guitar, and I'm just looking for Def Leppard right now. Excuse me, is that my martini?
No, I'm sorry. I can get you one.
That's all right. Do you know where I can meet Def Leppard? I'm trying to meet Def Leppard.
I don't. Sorry.
Well, my game plan was to first come out and see if I could find him hanging around the casino.
But Chum has a backup triumph. He spots who he thinks is Prince at a gas station and gets an autograph and photo. He's ecstatic, calling it an amazing experience. He can't wait to rub it in Rick's face. The sheer randomness of encountering a global superstar at a Vegas gas station is peak Chum logic, where luck replaces all planning. He returns to the shop beaming with misplaced pride.
Hello.
Hi there.
Excuse me, Mr. Prince. How you doing?
Good, sir.
I was just getting some gas, and I thought maybe I could get your autograph.
Absolutely, sure. What's your name?
My name's Chumley, but if you could just sign it Prince, that would be good. Do you think I could get a picture as well?
Chum reveals Prince signed the guitar. Rick is initially impressed. Cool. No way. Until Chum says he got him at Pop's Cheesesteak eating a salad. Rick is instantly skeptical. Chum shows the photo as proof. Rick and the old man identify the man as a Prince impersonator. Chum insists that is Prince. The old man delivers the hilarious kill shot. Who in the hell's Prince? The absurdity of Chum getting fooled is perfect.
All right, let's get this thing framed up and put it on the wall.
Hell yeah.
How did you get him to sign it?
I was getting gas over there by Pop's Cheesesteak, and I seen Prince over there, so I ran up there and I got him while he was eating.
Whoa, wait a minute.
No way.
A customer comes in looking at a Mark Twain signed card. Rick repeatedly mistakes her for Katie Holmes, then Katy Perry. She's not amused, criticizing his employees. Rick finally lands on Katie Couric. She loves Twain and offers $12,000 for the $20,000 item. Rick immediately says, sold. He admits he rarely discounts so much, but must keep Katie Couric with her millions of viewers happy. A celebrity nets a...
I was wondering if I might look at that Mark Twain signature piece.
Sure.
Thanks.
Wait a minute. Katie Holmes?
Oh, no. Although I'd like to look like Katie Holmes.
Winslet?
Kate Winslet? Really?
I know I recognize her from somewhere.
A seller brings in an 1861 Sharps & Hankins experimental rifle, a weird prototype from the Civil War era. He found it at a pawn shop and knows it's special, with only 700 to 750 made across 5 models. Rick explains the explosion in gun tech during the war. The seller, a collector, wants to sell it to fund more antique firearms. He believes it still fires, though the ammo is a bizarro caliber.
It's an 1861 Sharps & Hankins experimental rifle.
That's pretty cool. It was most likely some weird prototype. Do you know how many they made?
Somewhere between 700 and 750 of them between 5 different models.
They were probably different models they were running off and probably trying to sell them to the military.
Rick examines the rifle, noting the term sharpshooter came from Sharp's rifle's accuracy, but he spots issues. The stock looks sanded down, not original. The seller hopes for $3,000. Rick admits the thin market confuses him. With limited models, valuing it is tough. He needs an expert. The seller is excited to learn more. The condition question immediately deflates the high hopes, a classic Pawn Stars pivot.
I believe it does. Everything looks good, the bore.
There shouldn't be any problem firing it. It's just finding the ammo for it. It probably takes a bizarro caliber. And the beautiful thing is it says Sharps on it.
Yes,
so that,
I did.
You used to be sharpshooter because sharps were so accurate. They had serious accuracy for a very long distance.
A different seller has two 18th century French stock Muslim door knockers, a severance gift for 30 years of work. Corey explains their use, different sounds for men and women, and they ward off evil spirits. The seller wants $1,800, lowest $500. Corey says they won't fetch that unless from Napoleon's house. He offers $200 for both, then $250. The disappointed seller accepts, planning a nice dinner for his wife with the cash.
Okay, nice French antique door knockers. You worked for them for how long?
30 years.
And this was your severance package?
Yeah.
Okay. What's really cool is that you have the other smaller one. I know in Muslim countries that the two door knocker thing was pretty important because a woman would never open up a door to a man.
Expert Sean examines the Sharps rifle. He loves it, detailing its easy loading for the Civil War era. He confirms Sharps' quality and accuracy, but a red flag. The barrel is 23 3/8 inches, a non-standard, weird length. Sean concludes it's likely a modified rifle, not a pristine experimental model. The dream of a rare prototype fades. It's been messed with, which drastically affects value and collectability.
So we have a Sharps experimental rifle.
I love seeing things like this because at the beginning of the Civil War, you had at least a half a dozen firing technologies fighting against each other. Then you had stuff like this where it made the loading and the firing procedure.
Sean values it at $1,500 to $2,000 retail. Rick, as a buyer, offers $1,000. The seller counters at $1,500. Rick goes to $1,050, stressing he shouldn't. The seller can't go lower than $1,500. The deal dies. The seller is disappointed, noting even the expert said it was worth more and plans more research. This highlights the pawn gap. Retail value isn't cash offer value, especially for altered items.
Being experimental, it could be extremely rare, and anything that's extremely rare could be worth a lot of money. But because of that, that brings out a lot of the fakers.
I mean, so what we realistically take?
I would say $17,500.
No, because that's what he said I could retail it for.
A new customer has an amazing 1840s chess table with over 500 pieces of inlaid wood, featuring a Fiji mermaid design. Rick loves chess history. The seller wants $5,000, citing its unique detail. Rick connects the mermaid to P.T. Barnum's hoax about a sea captain. He needs to identify a maker for real value and calls an expert. The seller is eager, having never seen a table with such intricate, bizarre inlay.
Is an amazing chess table.
Okay.
It's from the 1840s. There's over 500 pieces of inlaid wood.
What we know as chess has been around since the Middle Ages, and we still play it. It's the one game where you can learn how to play it when you're 7, and 50 years later, you still ain't got it down pat.
Expert Beard of Knowledge arrives, bringing a real creepy Fiji mermaid prop, a monkey sewn to a fishtail. Rick is horrified. They examine the table. The expert says the mermaid with a pipe and top hat suggests a custom joke for an individual, like a fisherman. The mass-produced table had a custom top. Despite the detail, he can't identify the maker. It remains an anonymous, though cool piece.
No, you called me about a Fiji mermaid, so I thought I'd bring one over with.
A Fiji mermaid?
Yes.
That is creepy, is what that is. Wow.
They would take the body of a monkey, and they would take the tail of a fish, and they would sew them together, and you can see the stitching here.
With no maker, Rick offers $500. The seller loves the table but can't accept that, countering at $2,500. Rick declines, noting they're too far apart. The seller decides to keep it, confident he'll get his price. The offer is disappointing, but not a surprise. The anonymous nature of antique furniture often caps its pawn value, no matter how visually stunning or weird it may be.
Unfortunately, in this particular case, I cannot identify who the maker was. It'd be nice to be able to, but this is going to be an anonymous piece. Still a very cool piece, but it is anonymous.
Okay, so I mean, I'd go like 500.
I love this table, and for a certain price, I would do it.
A regular brings a huge book, Instructions for the Wars, printed in 1589 during Queen Elizabeth I's reign. It's a military manual and the first book on fortification in English, translated by spy Paul Ive. The seller, an enthusiast, asks $14,000. Rick praises Elizabeth as a great leader. He's intrigued but clueless on value, so he calls his book Expert, Rebecca. The seller is excited for her reaction.
What's that?
It's a book on the military and warfare from the time of Queen Elizabeth I.
It's called The Instructions for the Wars, and it was printed in 1589. It's actually one of the first military field manuals.
Rebecca is thrilled. It's a contemporary vellum binding. She reveals a bombshell. Playwright Kit Marlowe, a suspected spy, quoted passages from this book in his play Tamburlaine. This spy-to-spy literary connection is huge. The folding plates are also super unusual and intact. However, she delivers the expert's classic caveat. There aren't really any comps for this. Its uniqueness makes pricing a tricky, educated guess.
Okay.
So Elizabethan era, one of the great sort of rivals of Shakespeare was Kit Marlowe. And Marlowe wrote one play, it was very famous, successful, called Tamburlaine. And he actually quotes almost verbatim some passages from this Practice of Fortification book.
Rebecca values it around $12,000, citing the plates and Marlowe connection. It's the epitome of a rare, important old book. Rick knows he's not paying $14,000. This appraisal sets the stage for a high-stakes negotiation. The book has everything: age, history, literary intrigue. But in the pawn world, even monumental rarity meets the hard reality of resale profit margins and finding that one special buyer.
Looking at this has plates, and this has that awesome Marlowe connection. So I would place it around $12,000.
All right, you're the best.
I know.
I second that. Thanks
Nice to
so
see
much.
you. I think that it would be a great book to have in the shop. This is what people think of when they think of an old, valuable, important book.
Rick offers $8,000. The seller counters, stressing its appeal. Rick goes to $8,500, then $8,600. The seller hesitates, saying it's hard to give up. Finally, he accepts $8,600, planning to reinvest the money. He didn't want to sell that low, but sees it as capital for new finds. Rick scores a significant historical artifact, while the seller moves his passion forward. A bittersweet but classic collector's cycle.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you $8,000 for it.
I just think it has a lot of appeal. It's an exciting book.
It is an exciting book.
What's the absolute best? Will you come up at
I'll
all?
go $8,500. You know, I really want the book, but...
Okay, I'll give you my best, but you gotta come up a little. I'm coming way down.
In a fun epilogue, Rick and the Beard of Knowledge discuss Fiji mermaid hoaxes, noting capitalism fueled them. Then, Corey swiftly checkmates Rick on the chess table. Rick admits he should read a chess book, and the expert agrees. It's a lighthearted end, emphasizing that in this shop, you can deal with 16th century spy manuals and still get humbled by a board game.
Every sideshow had to have one. They were making these up by the dozens.
Hey, people are willing to pay, I guess.
That's exactly it. Capitalism. Can't fold it.
It's nice because I rarely get to play chess with anybody, especially in here.
Checkmate. Nice try, Rick. You should probably read a chess book.
The episode opens with Rick telling the old man and Corey he's going to buy his daughter a car from Davey with a firm $10,000 budget. Corey and the old man immediately warn him it's a mistake, calling Davey a con artist. They say bringing his daughter will make him spend twice as much. Rick defends Davey as just a used car salesman, insisting he won't be taken advantage of. The family's hilarious skepticism sets the stage.
Davey's got a car I want to look at, and thinking about getting your little sister a new car.
You're not taking your daughter with you, are you? Well, I wouldn't.
That is the biggest mistake ever, bringing her with you.
Why?
Because she has to be wrapped around her little finger, and you're going to end up spending twice as much on a car.
A customer brings 2 pieces of alleged Keith Haring artwork, obtained from the artist's lover's lover. Rick is intrigued, explaining Haring's graffiti origins and iconic style. The seller initially thought it was childish, but researched it and now hopes for a big pile of money. He asks $75,000. Rick loves recognizable artists in his shop and calls an expert. The potential for a huge art score contrasts with the upcoming car chaos.
Okay, cool. Where in the hell did you get these?
I got them from a friend who got them from Keith Haring's lover's lover.
Keith Haring's lover's lover.
Yes.
What a tangled web we weave. If they're real, it's mega cool. It really is.
In a separate scene, Chumley haggles over a Civil War-era Nelson knife, a combined knife and fork tool for amputees. The seller wants a couple hundred. Chumley lowballs at $50, joking it's a Nork, not a spork. After back-and-forth banter, including an arm wrestle refusal, they settle at $60. The seller is not thrilled, but takes it. It's a classic Chum moment.
Cut.
And yeah, so it's not a spork because there's no spoon. It's more like a Nork.
It's sweet.
Absolutely. Approximately 70 to 80,000 people lost their limbs in the Civil War. For those that only had one arm, needed some kind of tool. So it's called the Nelson knife after Lord Nelson.
Odd history meets playful, stubborn negotiation. Art expert Brett examines the herring pieces. He confirms the iconic radiant baby and three-eyed smiley motifs, noting the intentional outlines to mimic a TV screen. He verifies the ink and signature, including the cross from herring's tagging days. He declares them legitimate originals. The valuation is huge, $40,000 to $50,000 each in a New York gallery, placing them in the pop art realm with Warhol. The seller's hopes are validated.
The thing about Keith Haring, you see a Keith Haring, you know it's a Keith Haring. It wouldn't be a stretch to call him the world's first fine art cartoonist. I mean, that was kind of his thing. As a matter of fact, you see the outline on the pieces. He did that intentionally to make it seem like the viewer was looking at a television screen.
Rick offers $45,000 total. The seller counters at $50,000, saying that's an easy $10,000 profit for Rick. Rick sticks at $48,000, his final offer, stating he has a store to run. The seller tries $49,000. Rick refuses, telling him to find someone else in town to pay that. The seller folds and accepts $48,000. He's ecstatic, noting only in America can you trade cartoons for a new truck.
I can probably find them wholesale for 30 grand a piece.
I would say that 50,000 and they're yours. That's an easy $10,000 in your pocket.
I'll go 48 grand. That's what I'll go.
At Davy's lot, Rick is furious. Davy shows a heavily modified Jeep, not the stock one Rick wanted. Davy claims it's smoking deal and used in the war. Rick shuts that down. No, they didn't. He rejects it outright, but reminds Davy his daughter Sienna needs a car, sticking to the $10,000 budget. Davy immediately pivots, suggesting a red convertible Challenger. The huckster vibe is strong as Rick tries to stay focused.
First off, the price is way too high. What year is it?
The year doesn't matter.
Whoa, 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 whoa. When does a year not matter on a car?
The Jeep is fully loaded, Rick. You got the accessory wheel carrier, the cooler, the jacks, full roll cage inside.
This is not what I was looking for.
Smoking deal, I'm telling you, it's a smoking deal.
A woman brings in creepy Dion quintuplet dolls from the 1930s, hoping for $2,000. Corey gives a dark history lesson. The poor Canadian family, the government taking the kids and turning them into a tourist attraction with one-way glass. He explains they were international news and more merchandise than Shirley Temple. The seller just wants them out of her house. Corey, unsure of value, calls a toy expert for the bizarre collectibles.
The Dion quintuplets.
Oh, and there's more.
Now I know how Mr. Dion felt. They just keep coming and coming and coming. What you have here is real interesting. It was a really, really odd kind of freakish thing. They were born in the 30s. It wasn't like today where you have, fertility clinics and people are spouting out triplets all the time.
Car shopping continues. Davy shows a Mercedes. Rick's daughter Sienna loves it, wanting something cute. Rick balks at the price, calling it 5-star quality pricing. Davy suggests a practical gold car, which Kiana hates. It's gold. Davy eggs Rick on. I guess Rick doesn't really love his daughter. The emotional manipulation is obvious. Rick suggests a minivan, which Sienna rejects. The budget is crumbling under daughterly pressure.
Dude, I mean, look at this price you have on that. That's like
5-star quality pricing.
How did you even come up with that price?
You like that number?
No.
Then I'll take away an 8, an 8, and a 3.
That's more than it costs new.
Rick, I got to make a little bit of profit. You know how the game works.
I know she looked really happy in the Mercedes.
Toy expert Johnny examines the Dion quintuplet dolls. He confirms their composition material and historical hype, noting they outsold Shirley Temple. One set with original high chair and hang tags is collector grade, worth $1,200 to $1,400. The other set with questionable accessories is worth about $600. This gives Corey a solid valuation range. The expert knowledge turns creepy dolls into quantified nostalgia, which is the pawn shop's secret weapon.
Back then in the 30s, I mean, they made hundreds of millions of dollars on this. They had endorsements, they had spoons, they were on covers of Time magazine. Nowadays, quintuplets aren't that big of a deal, but back in the 30s, thousands and thousands of people every day came to see them. They sold more merchandise.
Corey offers $1,200 for both sets, calling them a fringe item that will be hard to sell. The seller counters at $1,600, then $1,500. Corey is firm at $1,400, saying it's the best she'll get anywhere. She refuses, deciding to keep them, but says she might come back if she can't sell them online. Corey's offer stands. The negotiation shows his discipline on niche, slow-moving inventory despite the interesting history.
Can you do 1,600? They're in fair shape from the 1930s.
They're 14. I can't go any higher. 1,400 bucks is my price.
Is there any way you can do 1,500?
I won't do 1,500. I'm telling you right now, you want to sell these to me for $1,400. That's the best you're gonna get. You're not gonna get that anywhere else.
Back at the shop, the old man and Corey grill Rick on the car purchase. Rick evades, calling it a practical safe car. They mock him, saying such cars don't even exist in this country anymore. The tension builds as they demand to know what he bought. Rick's evasion is a telltale sign he blew the budget. The family's relentless teasing is a payoff for their earlier warnings about Davey the con artist.
What'd you do, get her a Yugo?
Yugos don't even exist in this country anymore. There's probably not one running Yugo in the United States.
Just tell us what kind of car you got her.
What is this? Hey, what's up?
Hey, can I get some gas money?
All right.
So the car's here.
Yeah, it's out back.
Let's go check it out.
The reveal. The practical car is a 2014 Mercedes with only 1,000 miles. Corey and the old man erupt in laughter. Rick paid $28,000, nearly triple his budget. Corey calls him a big sucker. Rick admits Davey made $10,000 off him. The old man delivers the classic line, "There's a sucker born every minute and it's you." Rick's defeated "I hate you guys" ends the episode, proving family is always right.
All right, guys, check it out.
A Mercedes, really?
Don't you like it?
I love it. It looks great.
Oh my God.
This thing has all the accessories too. Look at that.
I know, it's nice, huh?
Look, I'm proud of you.
Thanks.